No room is one size fits all. That's why we curated a collection of designer quality rugs that can be customized to the inch and delivered in as little as 2 weeks. At our Nesta.com, explore over 150 gorgeous styles made with luxe materials and elevated colors and cozy textures. With free design consultations and samples to try before you buy, we make it effortless to find the perfect fit that'll completely transform your space. Visit our Nesta.com and get 5 free samples with code XX. This is Teachable Moments with April podcast, and you guessed it, I'm your host April. If you're a returning listener and a part of the Teachable Moments with April podcast family, welcome back. For those who are checking me out for the first time, well, hello and welcome. To everyone listening, be encouraged and look for the teachable moments that are all around us. Enjoy. This is your host, April, from Teachable Moments with April podcast. In this episode of Empowerment and Character Building, we'll be listening to some excerpts from Amazon audiobook by Patricia Davis, Disciplined for Success, Harnessing the Power of Self-Control. Empowerment and Character Building. Disciplined for Success, Harnessing the Power of Self-Control by Patricia Davis. Available now on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold. So, we're looking at chapter 2, and we're looking at pages 16 through 19. Now, we left off at an area in which we started to open up the discussion about genetics, environment, and personal experiences. Now, from a genetic perspective, research has shown that self-discipline is heritable, meaning that it tends to run in families. Now, studies have also shown that certain genes are associated with self-discipline, such as the DRD4 gene, which is associated with being impulsive and novelty-seeking behavior, okay? From an environmental perspective, okay, research has shown that the self-discipline is influenced by a variety of factors, okay, such as parenting style, education, and culture, okay? So we got parenting style, education, and culture. Now, for example, let's get an example. Okay, children who are raised in an authoritarian parenting style, okay, they tend to have higher levels of self-discipline, okay? While children who are raised in a permissive parenting style tend to have lower levels of self-discipline. Now, from a personal experience perspective, research has shown that self-discipline is influenced by a variety of life experiences, such as stress, trauma, and social support. Now, let's look at an example. People who have experienced stress or trauma tend to have lower levels of self-discipline, while people who have a stronger support system tend to have higher levels of self-discipline. So in summary, self-discipline is a complex phenomenon that is influenced by a variety of factors, okay, including genetics, environment, and personal experiences. Studies have shown that self-discipline is heritable, influenced by parenting style, education, culture, stress, trauma, and social support. Now, understanding the different factors that influence self-discipline can help us to better understand this phenomena and how to improve it. Now, the study of self-discipline is not just a matter of psychology. It is also a matter of biology. Now, in particular, it's closely related to the study of genetics and DNA. Studies have shown that certain genes are associated with self-discipline, and we touched on this, such as DRD4 gene, okay? You guys remember that? Which is associated with being impulsive and novelty-seeking behavior. Now, research also has shown that self-discipline, as we've talked about, is heritable, meaning that it tends to run in families. This suggests that self-discipline has a genetic component and that certain genetic variations may be associated with higher or lower levels of self-discipline. Now, one of the most interesting findings, at least I think it is, in the field of genetics and self-discipline is the study of what we just talked about and mentioned is DR-D4 gene. This gene is associated with the dopamine D4 receptor, which is involved in the regulation of being impulsive and novelty-seeking behavior. Now, studies have shown that a specific variant of this gene, is associated with higher levels of novelty-seeking behavior, and it's 7R allele. Now, this suggests that individuals who carry this variant of the DR-D4 gene may have lower levels of self-discipline. Look at that. And as they may be more likely to engage in impulsive and novelty-seeking behavior. However, it's important to note that genetics is not the only factor influencing self-discipline, and other factors, as we've mentioned and touched on, as environment and personal experiences play a big role too. So let's not forget that. Okay, so in essence, let's do the recap. Self-discipline is a complex phenomenon that is influenced by a variety of factors. What are they? Genetics, environment, and personal experiences. Okay, what do we also know and hopefully we've learned so far is studies have shown that certain genes, such as the DR-D4 gene, are associated with self-discipline, and that the heritability of self-discipline suggests that it tends to run in actual families. And understanding the genetic component of self-discipline can help us to better understand this phenomena and how to improve upon it. Now, in this particular section, we're going to take a more in-depth and scientifically based approach to the subject, by mentioning the study of genetics and DNA in relation to self-discipline. Now, we're discussing, as we've already kind of entered the conversation, a specific gene. Do you remember what it was? It was DR-D4 gene, and how it influenced self-discipline and how its heritability suggests that it runs in families. Now, additionally, I want to emphasize the complexity of this phenomena and how important understanding the different factors that influence self-discipline can help us to better understand it and improve it in a way that is engaging and actually easy to follow, believe it or not. Now, another aspect of self-discipline that has been studied is the relationship between self-discipline and brain function. Now, studies have shown that self-discipline is closely related to the activity of what we talked about before, the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the body in the brain that is responsible for executive functioning. The region of the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, is responsible for, if you remember, planning, initiating, and monitoring one's actions. And it's also responsible for regulating emotions and impulses. Now, research has also shown that self-discipline is related to the activity of the anterior cortex, which is responsible for conflict resolution. Remember that, conflict resolution. Now, this region of the brain is activated when there is a conflict, between an impulse and a goal. And it helps to resolve the conflict by inhibiting the impulse and promoting the goal. In addition to the prefrontal cortex and the anterior cortex, self-discipline is also regulated to the activity of the insula, which we touched on, insula, which is responsible for interception. And interception is the ability to sense the internal state of the body, such as hunger, thirst, and fatigue. And by sensing these internal states, the insula helps to regulate impulses and promote self-discipline. Okay, so another part of the brain that has been found to be related to self-discipline is the basal ganglia, which is a group of nuclei located deep within the brain. Now, this region of the brain is responsible for the regulation of movement and cognition. It has also been found to be involved in the regulation of impulses and promotion of self-discipline. Now, in addition to the brain regions previously mentioned, self-discipline is also related to the activity of the parietal cortex, which is involved in spatial awareness, attention, and perception. Now, this region of the brain helps to direct attention towards goal-relevant information and helps to promote self-discipline by directing attention away from the distractions. Now that we have discussed the various scientific aspects of self-discipline, it's important to also address the question of how the reader can tap into this knowledge and incorporate it into their daily lives. Okay? Now, one of the more and most effective ways to improve self-discipline is through consistent practice, as we've discussed, and repetition, okay? By setting small, achievable goals and consistently working towards them, we can actually train our brains to be more self-disciplined. Now, another effective strategy for improving self-discipline is develop a clear sense of purpose and motivation. When we have a clear understanding of why we want to achieve a goal and what it will mean for us, we're more likely to be self-disciplined and take consistent action towards achieving those set goals. Now, it's also important to note that self-discipline is not just about, as we've said, resistance and restraint. It's about developing a positive mindset and attitude by focusing on the benefits of self-discipline, okay, such as improved performance, better health, and greater life satisfaction. And we can develop a more positive attitude towards self-discipline and be more motivated to engage in self-disciplined behaviors. Unleash your potential with power of self-discipline. About the author. Patricia Davis is the author of Discipline for Success, Harnessing the Power of Self-Control. She is a renowned life coach, motivational speaker, and yoga instructor. She will guide you on a transformative journey to cultivate discipline and unlock the door to personal and professional success. Drawing from over 15 years of experience in life coaching and Eastern spiritual practices, Patricia presents an inspiring blend of science, spirituality, and personal development. This book will empower you to break free from the barriers that limit your potential and provide practical and actionable steps to instill discipline in every aspect of your life. Buy it today on Amazon or wherever books are sold. Hi, Mom. Hi, Grandma. We hope you love your new Aura digital picture frame. It's going to help us to share photos and stay connected. I already added a bunch of pictures and videos and we'll keep updating it. We don't want you to miss out on a single moment. You can send us as many photos as you want from your phone to our Aura Frame 2 so we can see exactly what you've been up to. Aura is the best gift ever because it's easy to be together even when we're apart. You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. We invite you to stay connected with us on the other social media platforms of ours, which is TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Also, we'd like to invite you to check out our official podcast landing page on podpage.com/teachable moments with April to see all our content in one place and leave personal messages, feedback, and more.